Hey moms and dads, Dr. Garrett with here from Foundation Chiropractic, and I'm very excited to talk to you guys today about sensory processing disorder. What it is, what's going on in these kiddos, and more importantly, what can we do about it? What can we do about it to improve their quality of life? The big thing you need to understand with sensory processing disorder is the problem lies in their nervous system. Okay, their brain, their nervous system is not able to perceive appropriately and coordinate appropriate behavior. Okay, that's the whole function of your brain and nervous system. Perceive your environment and coordinate behavior. What's sensory processing disorder? Abnormal behavior. Sometimes in the sense that kids will stim a lot. Other times kids will just constantly fidget. But it's also not being able to eat certain foods, not being able to go out in public because of loud noises, right? Not being able to wear a pair of jeans because of the textures. That's abnormal behavior in and of itself as well. So the big thing you need to understand is it's rooted in their brain and their nervous system. But within that, it's rooted in their neurological sensory receptors, and that they have sensory deficits. Their sensory receptors are not mature enough to send good information to their brain, to get their brain to process information and coordinate behavior. Okay? At any given time, your brain is always getting input from its 7 senses. There's not 5, there's 7. The last 2 are balance and the movement and balance and coordination. So, based on your vision, hearing, movement, balance, and coordination, your brain's constantly getting input from its environment, and it's perceiving what's going on in the environment, and it then coordinates behavior. So when those sensory receptors are good, when your sensory system's firing at good rates, your brain's getting that good input, and your brain's coordinating good behavior. Sensory processing disorders don't exist when your nervous system's functioning the way that it can. So a big thing is, so a kid with sensory processing disorder, his receptors down here, they're not firing to reach threshold, okay? There's immaturity here. So when these receptors are stimulated, they don't fire enough to get above that threshold, because you have to meet threshold to fire to the brain. That's why they're constantly moving a lot, okay? Movement is a big stimulus to your brain. Your brain loves movement. That's why when you exercise, after you exercise, you have so much mental clarity, right? You feel so good. It's because that movement really stimulated your receptors, and it crossed threshold. That those receptors reached to the brain perceived good things, the brain coordinated good behavior. So what we need to do with these kids is we need to get them to reach threshold. We need to give them a lot of stimulus to reach their brain, to calm their brain down, and the chiropractic adjustment is huge with that. When we adjust the spine, we really change the tone of that spinal musculature and really the tone of the neck and the muscles. And that motor system, right, movement feeds the brain, like I said, when you exercise, really stimulates the receptors to reach threshold, and it sends that good input to the brain and gets the brain to fire better. And when you do that consistently enough, right, and repetitively enough for a long enough period of time, these receptors can start to reach maturity. They can become stronger. They can become better, more efficient. Same thing with the child's nervous system. It starts coordinating better, starts perceiving better, because the brain is always forming new pathways, new connections. So the big thing with sensory processing disorder is basically their nervous system and their sensory system, their motor, their muscular system, it's weak and it's immature. So we need to start firing these systems, getting them to fire better, and the chiropractic adjustment is absolutely huge at doing that. So I hope this made sense. The big thing to understand is it's rooted in their nervous system.